Hello, and welcome to Artists and Adventurers, a coming-of-age podcast for the girls who refuse to dream small. My name is Gabriella Godinez, and I will be hosting conversations on creativity, adventure, ambition, and personal growth. Maybe you're like me. Maybe you've spent your whole life pulled in 100 different directions, not because you're lost, but because you are genuinely fascinated by all of them. Artists and Adventurers is a place to come to embrace that complexity, to invest in your self-discovery, and to stay inspired. So, for our first episode, I want to introduce myself to you and also get to know you guys a bit better. If you resonate with anything I'm about to share, I think we could be great friends. Does anyone else feel like they have too many dreams for one lifetime? Like, I want to be a professional actress in film and television, but I also want to be a pop star. And I want to write a book and a musical, and I want to direct film and television, and I want to design a fashion line. But I want to travel the world. I want to live and work abroad. I want to survive out of a backpack in the backcountry, to sail around the world, not to mention having a family one day. Like, I want to do it all. There are so many lives I want to live. And I feel like society just keeps telling me, you have to pick one path. But I disagree. I will accomplish all my dreams. Because I have to. Because the fact that I even have a dream or a vision or a passion for my life at all is so rare. And it's such a gift. What we don't realize as big dreamers is that there are so many people on earth who don't even have one dream, who don't even have one single passion, one thing to live for. So the fact that I have so many is such a gift. On this channel, I want to reach an audience, especially of young women who refuse to shrink themselves down to what's deemed acceptable, or at least who are trying to. I want to reach an audience of humans who are on a self-discovery and self-improvement journey. If you're in your early 20s, like me, who's a 23-year-old, then we might have a lot of growing pains in common. And I want to reach an audience who share this passion for the outdoors, travel, nature, and wildlife, as well as a love for artistic pursuits like songwriting, acting, fashion, writing. This channel is the beginning of my journey to marrying my two greatest loves, art and adventure. And hopefully I'll make some friends along the way. For so long, I've been struggling with these two sides of myself, feeling like I can't pursue both artistic endeavors and adventure. Because artistic, creative people are so dedicated to their craft that they are willing to sacrifice anything for the sake of the craft. But I can't do that. I can't sacrifice my love for adventure. And adventurous, outdoorsy people, they shy away from the cameras and the social media. They don't care about vanity or looks or all the artificial things that come with the culture. And that doesn't quite fit for me either. I am both the artist and the adventurer, wholly and completely. How can I choose one identity? When we grow up, when we reach our high school graduation or our college graduation or the tumultuous years of our 20s, society wants to place us into a box, a digestible identity, a career, a marriage, a city, a culture. And take it even a step further, social media algorithms tell us that we need a niche. How can I be a fully fledged, complex human being who's lived 23 years on this earth and somehow be reduced down to a niche? As kids, we didn't have any idea that adults were dealing with these sort of identity crises. In my childhood, I grew up in San Diego, California. I grew up in a small beach and boating. I can't even tell you how many times I've refilmed that. Beach and boating community. And I was surrounded with a love for the outdoors, constantly surfing, fishing, going on the boat, skateboarding, biking around the community, and at the same time growing up, I was always enrolled in a class. Dance lessons, piano lessons, vocal lessons, I was doing school productions, musicals, and plays, and I loved this lifestyle. My mom is an artist, a children's book author, and illustrator, and she represents the artistic side of me. You know, she was always getting us into crafts growing up. We did Disney music sing-alongs, and we listened to Nora Jones in the car. And my dad, although he is musically gifted and performs in a dad rock cover band, he represents more of the adventurous side of my upbringing. He taught me how to surf and pushed me into the wave when my arms weren't strong enough. He taught me how to camp and how to survive out in the woods. And those are my amazing parents. I mean, that's my background, and that's, I think they are why I am this dichotomy of a person, but I wouldn't have it any other way. By the time I was 18 years old and applying for college, I didn't have a super strong opinion on what I wanted to study. I was in a high school conservatory program. I was doing a special major in musical theater. I was totally invested, but I was not totally convinced that musical theater was my forever. You see, I love musical theater because I love the three elements in it, the acting, the singing, and the dancing. And if you can't tell by now, the more artistic mediums, the better. But I wasn't really resonating with this idea of being a musical theater performer for the rest of my life and my career, and that being my defining trait, especially when you look at other girls who are so theater kids, so musical theater. I don't know, it felt restrictive to me. I felt like I had something more, but I didn't know what. So I enrolled into the Bachelor of the Arts at USC. It's a fairly broad major, filled with a lot of students who love theater, who are on the cusp of transferring into journalism or music industry, or students who became more interested in writing plays or directing films by the end of freshman year. We were a hodgepodge group of creatives who were ready to dip our hands into anything. In college at USC, I had a creative bucket list, a long list of things I wanted to try out just so I could get them out of the way, so I could focus on my real goal of pursuing acting in film and television. I thought there wasn't going to be room for all my artistic interests after I graduated, so I had to get them out of the way now. But my life has never been about just one thing. While I was in college, I longed for a sense of adventure. I felt so trapped and cooped up in USC's mid-city environment, so by the time that the freshman year frat party excitement wore off, I was desperate to get out of town. I spent what felt like every single weekend on a weekend trip, or with the camping club from school. I did a couple backcountry backpacking trips, anything to get out of that noisy city. Plus, I spent a few summers working at a water sports camp down in San Diego, where literally my 9 to 5, I was on the water on a sailboard or surfboard, and then my 5 to 9 after work, we were tanning, eating tacos, and getting into trouble. Anyway, I wrapped up my 4 years of college. I accomplished all of these awesome extracurricular artistic pursuit. I checked off all those boxes. I had written a short film, produced a short film, written a song, hosted a television show, done a cappella, directed the music video, played in a college band, but at the end of it all, I was convinced that I was meant to be an actor. And there was one goal that I had left, which was to travel. Now, the study abroad program for theater was based in London, and it required you being cooped up in a theater from 9 to 5. Which just didn't quite feel right if I was flying all the way to Europe, a place I had never been before. So I opted out and decided that I was going to take a 3-month backpacking trip when I graduated college. So fall post-grad, I spent a month with my dad and then a month with my mom, which is so special. And then I did a month solo, sleeping on friends' couches. And that was the best experience ever. I arrived back home in San Diego in time for the holidays with a January move-in date for my LA apartment to start my new adult actor life. But what I didn't realize was that something had been brewing. As I sat on trains and in dimly lit European hotel rooms, I was dreaming. Without the stress, the pressure, or the connection to my own reality, I started to dream dreams that seemed impossible. Dreams that were bigger than life itself. To do every little thing I had tried to push down and subside. While I was abroad and I watched other friends of mine who had just graduated have to make choices about their careers or their lives based on stress and pressure and anxiety, here I was, completely disconnected, imagining a world for myself that was anything beyond my wildest dreams, or something that could even seem possible for a girl like me. The freedom I experienced while backpacking allowed me to uncover what was really deep down inside my heart, hidden beneath fear and inhibition, imposter syndrome, and doubt. This very thing that I hope you all resonate with and come to this channel to connect with. It's this wild curiosity, this expansive ambition. It's such a large and incomprehensible bunch of dreams, so the only way that it made sense for me to accomplish all of these things was to document it. So welcome. And let's see where this goes.